The sound of my brother's laughter echoed through our parents' living room as my business cards fluttered across the hardwood floor. Elizabeth, Strategic Innovation Consultant. Please, stop pretending you're something you're not. I watched James, my older brother by 2 years, press his expensive leather shoe onto one of my scattered cards, smudging the embossed lettering I'd paid extra for. At 32, he embodied what our family considered success. Newly appointed executive at Meridian Technologies, one of Seattle's fastest-growing tech firms. Those cards cost money, James. I muttered softly as I bent down to gather the remnants of my professional identity. Money you can't afford to waste, he smirked, adjusting his Rolex, a gift from our parents for landing his new gig. Face it, little sister. Consulting is just a fancy word for unemployment. Our mother entered, balancing a tray of appetizers for James' celebration dinner. Elizabeth, dear, are you still doing that freelance thing? You know, your father could make a call. Get you something more stable. I straightened up and slipped the salvage cards into my jacket pocket. Armani, though they'd never guess it wasn't from last season's clearance rack. To them, I was still the disappointment, the one who walked away from a real career to start her own business. I'm doing fine, Mom. I replied, thinking of the meeting I just left, the one where I signed the final papers to acquire Meridian Technologies through my holding company, Aurora Ventures. Fine isn't the same as successful, James chimed in, settling into our father's leather armchair. While you're consulting, I'll be transforming Meridian. They practically begged me to join. The CEO already knows. I suppressed a smile, knowing that the upcoming management shakeup was already in motion. James had no idea his dream job was about to change dramatically. When does your position start? I asked, already knowing the answer. Monday, he grinned, pulling out his own business cards, thick, glossy, embossed with Executive Vice President in gold. Unlike some people, I have a real title at a real company. Our father entered, beaming with pride. Son, I just got off the phone with George at the country club. Everyone's talking about your new role. Finally, a Harrison making headlines in the business world. I thought about the headlines next week when Aurora Ventures revealed its ownership of Meridian. The mysterious holding company had been the talk of Seattle's business circles, known for aggressive acquisitions and innovative strategies. No one knew behind the corporate shield was the youngest Harrison quietly building an empire while her family mocked her career choices. Elizabeth was just showing us her business cards, James said, making air quotes. Our father glanced at the crumpled card on the floor. Consulting. So, honey, it's been 3 years. Maybe it's time to admit this entrepreneurial phase isn't working out. 3 years. While they thought I was scraping by on freelance work, I had turned my grandmother's inheritance, a modest $1 million they'd say I'd waste, into a holding company worth over $300 million. Aurora Ventures now held stakes in a dozen companies across the tech sector, each acquisition made carefully and quietly. Actually, I said, grabbing my bag, I have meetings tomorrow. Big changes are coming. Changes? Mom perked up. Are you finally considering a real job? Something like that. I smiled, recalling the email I'd received during dinner, confirming Aurora Ventures now owned 67% of Meridian's shares. Well, don't expect any introductions from me at Meridian, James called as I headed for the door. We have standards. I paused and turned back. Don't worry, James. I have a feeling we'll be seeing a lot of each other very soon. In my car, a deliberately modest Audi that wouldn't raise questions, I checked my messages. My assistant confirmed everything was set for Monday's announcement. The board would meet at 9 a.m. to approve the acquisition, followed by a company-wide presentation where Meridian's new owner would be introduced. The same meeting where James would discover his little sister wasn't just successful, she was his boss. My phone buzzed with a text from Mom. Honey, James left some of his contacts here. Should I save them for you? Might be helpful. I started the car, thinking about the stack of NDAs sitting on my desk at Aurora Ventures, the ones every Meridian executive, including their newest EVP, would need to sign on Monday. No thanks, Mom. I replied. I have all the contacts I need. The weekend dragged on with endless family updates praising James' success. Mom sent hourly reports about his new office furniture. Dad forwarded articles about Meridian's promising future. Even our cousins chimed in, congratulating us on finally having someone important in the family. From my penthouse office, I watched Seattle's Sunday morning fog curl around the skyscrapers. The Aurora Ventures logo dimly illuminated on the wall behind my desk, a rising sun-piercing clouds, fitting given what tomorrow would bring. Miss Harrison, Kate's voice crackled through the intercom. Final confirmation from all 17 board members. Everyone has signed the confidentiality agreements for tomorrow's announcement. Only the CEO knows your true identity. I smiled, recalling my meeting with Meridian's CEO, Gerald Porter, last week. His shock when he learned the mysterious head of Aurora Ventures was his newest EVP sister had been priceless. And James' orientation was scheduled to start at 8 a.m., with HR paperwork, of course. The company-wide meeting was set for 10 in the main auditorium, with James sitting front and center. Let him have his moment of glory before everything changed. My phone buzzed again, another family group text, this time from James. Last chance for career advice, sis. My business cards may be expensive, but at least they aren't getting thrown away. I was about to reply when Kate hurried in, holding a tablet. Your brother just posted on LinkedIn about transforming Meridian's future. The comments. You should see for yourself. Sure enough, James was in his best suit, standing in front of Meridian's logo, promising revolutionary changes under his leadership. Our father had already commented, "That's my boy. Show them how a Harrison does business." If only they knew. Kate, make sure the photographer is ready tomorrow. I want to capture the exact moment James realizes who owns Meridian. Already arranged. She hesitated. Your parents might be there too. They want to see his new office. Even better. Let it all witness the moment their assumptions about success crumble. Sunday night, I reviewed my plans for Meridian, its potential at stagnation. That's why I targeted it. Under Aurora Ventures, we'd modernize technology, streamline operations, and most importantly, abolish the old boys club mentality that had hampered innovation. My phone kept buzzing. Mom, when will you get an office with a view of the Space Needle? Dad, son's already scheduling meetings with major clients. James, should I save you a janitor's closet at Meridian? Perfect for consulting. I smiled, knowing that tomorrow, everything would change. Winking face. I left all their messages marked as unread, choosing instead to focus on tomorrow's presentation, the one where I'd unveil my vision for Meridian's future. A future that definitely wouldn't include an executive vice president role for my brother. As midnight approached, one last message came through from our grandmother, the only family member who knew the truth. Give them hell tomorrow, sweetheart. Success is the best revenge, but making them watch is even sweeter. I slept peacefully that night, dreaming of boardrooms and coffee mugs shattered in the rush of victory. Monday morning arrived crisp and clear. I dressed meticulously in a custom-made suit that cost more than James's entire monthly paycheck. The same suit I'd worn to sign the acquisition papers, now accessorized with my grandmother's diamond pendant, a quiet reminder of where this all began. Miss Harrison, Kate called from my private elevator. Your brother just arrived at Meridian. Well, he's already making changes. Oh, he's fired 2 senior managers and insisted his office be repainted. Says the current color scheme doesn't match his vision. I glanced at my watch. 8:15 a.m. How long until he finishes the HR paperwork? About an hour, Kate replied, though he's pushing to expedite it so he can start making real changes immediately. Perfect. Let him dig his hole deeper. By 9:30, I stepped into my private car. Not the Audi I'd driven to family dinners, but a Bentley reserved for occasions like this. As we pulled up to Meridian's headquarters, I saw my parents walking through the entrance, dressed as if attending a royal coronation. My phone buzzed one final time. James, corner office looks great. Don't worry, I'll wave when I see you cleaning windows. I typed back my first reply of the day. Looking forward to our 10 a.m. meeting. Don't be late. His reply was instant. Sorry, sis. Executive meetings only. Maybe next time. I stepped out of the Bentley, straightening my jacket. The security guard snapped to attention. They'd been briefed about their true boss. The receptionist hurried forward. Welcome, Miss Harrison. The board is ready whenever you are. Time to show my family what real success looks like. At 9:55 a.m., I stood backstage in Meridian's main auditorium, listening to the buzz of 500 employees chatting excitedly. Through the curtain, I saw James in the front row, holding court with our parents, his new assistant rushing back and forth with coffee and schedules. Everyone's in position, Kate whispered, handing me the latest report. The board is seated, the press is ready, and James just sent out a company-wide email promising transformative leadership. I glanced at my phone, where James's message was displayed. As your new EVP, I promise to revolutionize Meridian Technologies. Change starts today. He had no idea how true that was. Gerald Porter, Meridian's CEO, approached with a nervous smile. Miss Harrison, your brother has already demanded the resignation of 3 managers and is threatening to restructure entire departments. Don't worry, Gerald. I assured him. The restructuring will happen, just not how he expects. At 10 a.m., Gerald took the stage. The room went silent, except for a loud whisper from James to our parents. Watch this, he muttered. Porter's about to announce his first big initiative. Good morning, Meridian Technologies, Gerald began. As you know, the company has undergone significant changes recently. Today, I am honored to introduce someone who will lead us into the future, the owner of Aurora Ventures and our new majority stakeholder. I saw James lean forward, expecting some wealthy businessman or investor to step up. Please welcome our new owner and CEO, Elizabeth Harrison. The silence was deafening as I stepped onto stage. In the front row, James's coffee mug slipped from his grasp, shattering on the floor. Our mother's hand flew to her throat. Dad's face drained of color. Thank you, Gerald. I took the microphone. For those who don't know me, I'm the founder and CEO of Aurora Ventures. As of last week, we own 67% of Meridian Technologies. The room erupted into whispers, phones appearing everywhere to capture the moment. James seemed to forget how to breathe. Some of you may have received an email this morning about transformative leadership, I continued. That transformation begins now, perhaps not in the way some expected. I clicked to the first slide of my presentation, showing Aurora Ventures' portfolio of successful tech companies. Under our guidance, Meridian will modernize its infrastructure, expand its market reach, and, meeting James's stunned gaze, eliminate outdated management structures that prioritize titles over talent. Our father stood abruptly, voice trembling. Security, I said calmly, please escort any non-employees out. We're discussing confidential company matters. James jumped to his feet. You can't do this. I am EVP. I advanced to the next slide, displaying a new organizational chart. That position has been eliminated, I said softly but firmly. And the IT department? I continued. They need a junior analyst. Didn't you take that coding course in college? My office, my business cards, James stammered, will need to be cleared out by noon. But I won't throw the cards away, I added with a smile. They might someday make an interesting historical exhibit. Our mother was crying now, mascara running. Elizabeth, how could you do this to your brother? The same way you all did it to me, I replied, my voice echoing through the silent room. By assuming success only looks one way. By dismissing anyone who doesn't fit your narrow definition of achievement. The next hour blurred into announcements, strategic plans, and visions for the future. I outlined Aurora's approach for Meridian, introduced key initiatives, and fielded questions from the increasingly energized employees, all while my family sat stunned, watching their expectations crumble in real time. After the presentation, I found them waiting outside my new office, the corner office James had been redecorating. This is humiliating, James hissed. I've already told everyone about my role. Consider it a lesson in due diligence, I replied, admiring the view of Seattle. Always know who owns the company before you start firing people. Our father stepped forward, voice trying to negotiate. Princess, surely we can discuss this. Family should help family, like you helped me. I faced them, mocking my own choices, discarding my business cards like failed relics, treating me as a failure for choosing a different path. We only wanted to protect you, Mom begged. No, you wanted to control me, force me into your version of success, I shot back. I sank behind my desk, my grandmother's pendant catching the morning light. But real success doesn't need anyone's permission. James made one last attempt. The country club, my reputation. You have to give me another chance. Actually, I don't. I opened my laptop. But since you're so interested in consulting, here's my card. I slid an Aurora Ventures business card across the desk, eyes cold. Be careful with it. These cards are quite expensive. As security arrived to escort them out, I heard James asking Dad if his old position at the family's firm was still available. Over the following weeks, Meridian underwent a silent revolution. Innovation blossomed without the shackles of hierarchy. Employee morale soared, and the stock jumped 30% on news of Aurora's leadership. My family's reactions varied. Mom sent daily pleas about loyalty. Dad oscillated between threats and attempts at reconciliation. James posted vague LinkedIn updates about exploring new opportunities while quietly interviewing for entry-level roles. A month later, I received an invitation to speak at my old business school's graduation on redefining success, breaking free from traditional paradigms. I accepted, intending to use my crumpled business cards as visual aids. On the morning of the speech, a final message from my grandmother arrived. Saw Meridian's latest stock price. Well done, sweetheart. Sometimes the best revenge isn't just proving them wrong, it's proving yourself right in ways they can't ignore. Looking out over Seattle from my office, James's brief claim, I reflected on success's many definitions. Business cards discarded in silent empires. Brothers who thought titles equate to power. Sisters who understand true power comes from owning the company. On my desk, beside reports and plans, sat a framed photo, the day my grandmother handed me my inheritance, both of us smiling knowingly. The secret we shared wasn't just about money or success. It was about patience, vision, and the quiet satisfaction of watching those who underestimated you realize just how wrong they were.